Hello, my name is Special Superhero, and today I'll be teaching you the basics of Justina Gu. Now, Justina is a new aggressive counter character, directly countering characters like Tianhai, Yue Shan, and Viper Ning, while all in her ultimate, which can also be used to evade dire situations while also freezing people in place. And on top of that, her F abilities can save her by giving her armor to get back in the fight. So without further ado, let's get into it. Justina's base skill is Ice Core, with a cooldown of 25 seconds, which allows her to encase herself with an icy aura, while also recovering a set amount of armor, and is also resistant to all physical attacks for 5 seconds. On top of this though, after 1.5 seconds, Justina can break out of this icy aura by dodging with shift. Also, this cannot be used while under attack, so definitely keep that in mind. So with her other variation, Ice Core Blink, she loses the ability to recover armor. However, the trade-off is that you can now use Ice Core even while under attack, granting you a jail out of free card in a dire situation. Justina's base ultimate is called Arctic Wraith, which changes her F into Shadow Swipe, which allows her to quickly charge into her enemies, dealing a small amount of damage. However, whenever Justina actually hits an enemy with this attack, it actually freezes the enemy, granting you a 5% attack buff. Additionally, every time Shadow Swipe hits an enemy, you do get an increase of 5% to your attack buff, with the maximum being 15% in total, meaning there's only a small amount of room for error with this ability because you always want to maximize the amount of damage you're outputting. One big thing to remember though is that after the freezing status is applied and the duration is over, freeze immunity will be applied to the enemy, meaning you cannot refreeze this enemy. However, you're free to do so after the freeze immunity is gone. And one last thing to remember is that if you do freeze 2 enemies at the same time, you can regain 1 usage count for your Shadow Swipe. Lastly, for the second variation, Arctic Wraith Frostbite, it will freeze an enemy for 2 seconds. However, once those 2 seconds are over, the enemy will release an icy blast, freezing the enemy's teammates that are nearby in this AoE. However, there are 3 key notes to remember when using this variation. Number 1, instead of having 4 Shadow Swipes, you only have 2. Additionally, when Shadow Swipe connects to an opponent, you will not gain any additional attack buffs. And in case you freeze more than 1 enemy, you will not gain an additional Shadow Swipe, making this more of a team situational ultimate versus the other one being very useful in trios, duos, and solos, while this one would be more useful in duos or trios. Before I leave you guys today, I'm going to teach you how to Shadow Swipe cancel, which we'll be using the base ultimate for. Basically, what you want to do is Shadow Swipe by pressing F, but before you let the full animation go through, you actually want to dodge backwards. What this will do is allow you to be in close proximity of your target, freezing them so you can follow up a lot easier. A good example of that would be this combo. If you grab a greatsword and begin sprinting towards your enemy and then hold R and B, you'll do a decent amount of damage on top of a good launcher. Then you want to Shadow Swipe cancel to the point where you're behind them and then do the exact same attack, which will do a heavy amount of damage to your opponent before they even get out of the freeze status effect. And last but not least, Shadow Swipe can be used in the air. However, it's kinda slow. But if you Shadow Swipe in the air and tap space, you can actually Shadow Swipe faster, which is extremely perfect for this character, giving her even more evasiveness and creativity. Overall, Justina is a perfect character for people who love quick combos as well as mind games, while also having tools to get out of dire situations that can be life and death for your team. So far, the abilities I would recommend would be the abilities she actually starts off with. Her F1 is absolutely amazing because it allows her to go into a defensive form, taking no damage while also repairing her armor to get back into the engagement that she may have been in. However, she'd be more prepared since she has her armor back. But even on top of that, it's a free gel out of free card. When it comes to her ultimates, both of them are viable. However, the first ultimate comes with 4 attempts for freezing your enemies, and on top of that, it allows you to be as evasive as possible while also creating CCs, which gives your team the advantage in that situation. However, that is all the time we have for today, so hopefully I was able to help you better understand Justina and Naraka Blade Point, and I'll see you guys on the battlefield.